Hey, it's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Run the thumbs up on these videos. I appreciate you guys. Ryan Grubb posted a farewell message to fans of Washington last night. This is definitely getting real. Check this out. On Twitter last night, he posted this farewell message to Husky Nation. Possible, not probable. The vision was coming to Seattle was clear. What wasn't was how the family would come together, and I've experienced a one in a lifetime. Nothing will change that. This is all love. He goes on to say that he was extremely grateful for the opportunities and that most notably, he wasn't going to be the next football coach at Washington. Seems like he wanted to. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to continue that? This is one of the biggest pieces of Kalen DeBoer's arsenal. This is one of the top offensive minds in college football that we really don't know a lot about. We talk about Steve Sarkisian. We talk about Lane Kiffin. We talk about guys from the schematic standpoint on the X's and O's. This is the next one. Ryan Grubb coming in is a slam dunk for Alabama. If this does go down, which looks very likely, you're going to be very excited. You should be excited. In that quarterback room, the running backs, the wide receivers, it's going to trickle down. This is gigantic if it happens, okay? So him coming to Alabama is very, very likely. He had the number one passer in the country this past year. Remember, we talked about the fact that he is a quarterback whisperer. Look what he did with Michael Penix Jr. Dude threw for over 4,000 yards this past season. In my opinion, he was the best quarterback in college football. The offensive line only allowed 12 sacks. Yes, that's right. They won the Joe Moore Award. And why is that important? Well, look to Alabama's inconsistencies. And this is interesting. Another name to watch is Scott Huff. We talked about him yesterday on one of our videos. Could be the next Alabama offensive line coach, another coach from the Washington Huskies. This was the mastermind of Washington's offense. Yes, Kalen DeBoer is an offensive coach as well. But Ryan Grubb called the plays at Washington, okay? They had the number 2 passing offense in the country behind Oregon. They had the number 12 total offense in the country. They also had a running back. You're like, okay, so what about the running backs? Well, running back Dylan Johnson had 1,200 yards this past season and 16 touchdowns. It's a more pass-heavy approach, but they're going to still feed the running backs. And if you're Jam Miller, and specifically if you are Justice Haynes, and you know that Ryan Grubb is coming in, you are elated. You are ecstatic because you know that you're going to get fed. You saw how happy Jalen Milroe was when he came in and he gave a big hug to Kalen DeBoer. I think he's excited. I think the whole quarterback room should be excited. And I have to ask this about Tommy Rees, okay? Because likely if Grubb comes in, then you have Tommy Rees exiting, right? He's not going to be the offensive coordinator here anymore. Was the stage too big for Tommy Rees? I'm serious. At 31 years old, coming in, was it too big? I don't even know if he was Coach Saban's number one target to be the next offensive coordinator this last season. I actually think it was Ryan Grubb, honestly. Do you feel that coming into Alabama, it was over his head? There was that time where he looked stressed out. I mean, coming in with a new quarterback, a new system, that's a big deal. So Tommy Rees likely out. Next, I want to talk about Caleb Downs, the most important piece of the puzzle on the defensive side of the ball, maybe the entire team. Caleb Downs, only a freshman at the University of Alabama, played in 890 snaps. There's been a lot of talk about him entering the transfer portal, going somewhere else. He was at the team meeting, as you heard, as you saw, literally in Alabama's footage that they released of Kalen DeBoer talking to the team. He was there. He was walking right behind Jalen Milroe when they gave the hug, okay? I have heard that there's talks of him having paperwork ready to enter the transfer portal. This was a couple days ago. We would know if he entered the transfer portal. There's a full court press on Caleb Downs to stay at Alabama. I get it. It must hurt to know that T-Rob is going to Georgia. It must hurt to see your whole defense having to be reconstructed. And in fact, we don't know which coaches are going to be retained, if any, at the University of Alabama, right? We know that T-Rob is gone. We know that Coleman Hutzler is leaving. We know that the wide receiver coach, Holman Wiggins, is leaving. We know that Kevin still is retiring. Other than that, we don't know about Robert Balla. We don't know about Freddie Roach, right? We're going to try to figure that out. We don't know if any of these defensive analysts are going to be retained. Charlie Strong, George Hilo, who was just brought in under Coach Saban. We don't know that yet. We don't know much about the defense, but we do know that it's important to have a full court press on Caleb Downs. And Coach Kalen DeBoer, his message to the team is, give me an opportunity. And he has to re-recruit this team. Okay. Some more transfer portal news to keep you posted on. All right. So last night you had Sean Murphy enter the transfer portal. That's another linebacker, right? You had Kendrick Blackshire recently hit the portal. Texas is asking about Kendrick Blackshire. I'm not sure where Sean Murphy will go. Let me know what you think about his game inside the comment box. You also had on Saturday, January 13th, Antonio Kite hit the portal. And then in the morning, you had Des Ricks, a former 5-star at the University of Alabama. Look, I don't know where these guys would have fit in 2024. Not to say that they wouldn't have got onto the field, but when you have Trey Amos coming back, you have Damani Jackson. It's going to be tough to get absolute playing time, but there's nothing better than competition. And, just because these guys did enter the portal doesn't mean that they can come out of the portal. Now, also on Isaiah Bond, now this continues to be a developing story. A representative, I guess his lawyer, agent, whatever it is, came out and said, the only person that knows about his whereabouts is me. And he CC'd Pete Thamel of ESPN. Pete Thamel of ESPN said that Texas is actively interested in Isaiah Bond. And then a photo was leaked, and I'm sure you guys saw that, of Isaiah Bond in the driver's seat of a Lambo. Right? Texas has the money to throw at you. We don't know what is going to happen with Isaiah Bond, but I think if Ryan Grubb is named the offensive coordinator, I think if you're Isaiah Bond, you look back to Alabama. And I get it. Steve Sarkisian has a great thing going at Texas, but you already have a great thing coming here at the University of Alabama and the offense. I'm excited about it. I don't know what's going to happen on the defensive side, and that's one of my biggest concerns. And as soon as they start to make some defensive hires, we'll bring that news to you here on Bama Football on YouTube. But Ryan Grubb, you should be 1,000,000% excited about. I already talked about Alabama potentially adding Jamarcus Shepard, who's the wide receiver coach, and Scott Huff, who is the offensive line coach, led Washington's offense to the Joe Moore Award. That's a big deal because Alabama's offensive line had too many inconsistencies. All right, so we are going to keep you posted on Isaiah Bond. And look, I asked this yesterday during my live stream. I think it would be impactful if Isaiah Bond left. A lot of people disagree with me and said it wasn't too big of a deal. I want to hear from you. I think it would be. I like his game. I like his swagger. I like the mantra. I feel he's a rideout. The grave digger. I mean, the guy comes with it, has speed. He's an elite playmaker, and period. You need playmakers, and I think playmakers 1,000,000% thrive in an offense that Ryan Grubb will bring to Alabama. So a lot to talk about. We're going to keep you posted right here on Bama Football on YouTube. You know what I appreciate? Run the thumbs up on this video. I appreciate you guys being here. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content right here on Bama Football on YouTube.